evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of this, the Curtlyn Warner Show. Today, we have a very special guest. Gentleman here sits with me, going by the name of Damon Corrie. He has traveled all the way from Barbados to be in St. Martin on a vacation. Then he took an extra vacation to the island of Eustatius, and there was a very serious incident happening there. So without further ado, I will turn the mic over to my guest, which is Mr. Damon Corrie.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. My name is Damon Corrie. I've been coming to St. Martin now for, I guess it's going on 15 years, way before 2010. I consider this island to be my second home, but I also love the neighboring islands, Sable and Station, where I can take advantage of the side trips that you can make inexpensively from here to many destinations, including the sister islands that you mentioned, where the unfortunate incident happened last Wednesday night.
So tell us a little bit about what happened to you while on the island of Station. We have seen in the newspaper of St. Martin that you made a trip to Station and you went hiking. What happened then?
Okay, well, I had done this same hiking at the Quil dormant volcano at least 9-10 times before. So I was figuring it's going to be run of the mill, nothing unusual going to happen once again because it's nothing new. I went there before sundown because this time, the times before I'd gone in there after dark already. I explored for like an hour or two and come back up. But this time I wanted to go in there and be in the bottom of the crater when the sun went down. And then do my little exploring and come back out. So my wife had accompanied me to, not all the way to the bottom because I left her halfway on the track going down. And I said, you wait here for me, I will go down and within an hour and a half I'll be back out and we'll go home. So she was somewhere safe, she was no risk of getting lost. Funny enough, while I was down at the bottom before the sun went down, I recorded a video, maybe 5-6 minutes on the phone. You might have seen it on the Facebook post. And I actually was making fun of, how could people get lost down in here? There's only one track in or out, and forgetting that my grandmother always told me never make fun of other people because when it happens to you, it's not going to be funny. So said, so done. The sun went down, and I explored. I wandered off the trail, looking at interesting things. They had a lot of big moths and butterflies and stuff I didn't see before there. So I was captivated by the wildlife and the scenery, and I lost track of the trail. So after 45 minutes trying to find back the trail, I was saying my wife was there in the car waiting for me. I can't be wasting time. We have to catch the ferry tomorrow morning, Thursday morning originally to come back here, and that's like a 5 a.m. wake up. So I was getting a little flustered there. So I said, you know what? I know for a fact that there's a trail around the rim of the crater. So all I have to do is make my own track up to the top, and once I get to the top, I'm back on the trail, go back collect my wife, and we go on home. It's something simple.
So at that time, your wife was at the top of the crater waiting for you. Halfway in the crater. And that was about what time of the night?
I left her around 5:30, went to 6. And the sun went down there about 6:30. It was already dark. So about by 7:30 when I realized that, I'm not making any progress catching up this trail, she's there waiting for me. She did have a headlight, yes, but she's still alone in the rest. So then I said, I'm going to make my own track up the side of this crater, because once I reach the top, I know I'm home free. So I still had my headlight on, and my footwear and everything, and I'm making my way up. Some points you're on all fours because you can't stand vertical because it's slow. And you're getting tired, but I guess the adrenaline of you want to get this over and done quickly and go back to normal. And I prayed that, because in South America every now and then I get lost like in the Amazon again because I go all over. I would pray during daylight hours and ask for some animal to guide me back to the track. And it might sound strange to people, but like a bird would appear a few feet away and watch me, and I would go to it, it would fly 30 feet and stop and look back, and I would follow this bird and get back the trail. But it's night time, there's no birds there. But they do have goats, feral goats on that volcano on that island. And I saw a white goat come out of the bushes and stop and look at me. So I'm thinking, okay.
This is your answer.
Yeah, my prayers answered. This goat going to lead me to safety. Forgetting that goats could, more or less walk on the edge of a razor and get away with it, which normal creatures can't. So anyhow, I followed this goat, and the track did get easier for a part of the way. But then when it rounded a bend, And I rounded the bend too, and the smoke was gone. But I saw that, oh, the top is there. I said, oh, thank God. Now I just have to pull myself up this one last ledge, and I'm going to be on the track. I went, put my weight on it, the rock didn't move, and I think that then when they went to raise myself fully, and all my weight is on it, it came loose. And I fell back into the dark. But the one word that came to me when that happened was really. It was like, after all this trouble reaching the top, just inches away, and this thing happened to me now. But I fell back. You know, you could tell when you're going, upside down. You could tell when I hit the rocks on the cart wheel backwards, and I didn't remember anything until I woke up and braced up against a tree.
So when you tried to fall on you said
The rock came loose.
the rock came loose, and you fell down backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
And how far down did you fall?
Well, I didn't know at the time, but when the sun came up the next morning and I was still braced against the tree, I looked back and I said, no, excuse me.
So let's hold the thoughts for a second. So you were saying that once the rock get loose, you fell backwards.
Right.
And at what time did you catch yourself? Because you seem to be that you was completely out.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was less than a half hour, because it was around 8:30 that I revived on this tree. I was in pain, but I was braced against a tree, back in it. And then I was able to turn myself around. My backpack was still on, my headlight had been knocked off, my shoes had been knocked off, and I felt my face wet. But in my backpack they had my phone. Luckily that wasn't broken, so I took out my phone and took a selfie, and as you could see the blood on my face. So then I started worrying that if I'm not found soon, I will bleed to death. Because you always hear that movies are bleeding out and nobody's stopping you. But luckily, within half hour the bleeding stopped. So you just had your face feeling dirty.
And what happened? Did you get to make a call?
Yeah, well, luckily I was close enough to the top that I was getting signal, because down at the bottom, when I first got lost, I didn't get signal, so I couldn't call my wife to tell her, head back up to the top and wait for me there or something. I couldn't get hold of anybody. But I found later 30 feet from the top. So that's
30 feet from the top of the crater. You fell about 30 feet. Wow.
So that was close enough to get signal with the phone. And I called.
Who was your first call?
Well, I didn't know station for a rescue hospital, nothing like that. No local numbers except for a lady who was at the guest house. But my first thought, because I know the number off the top of my head, is to call my son in Barbados and ask him to then Google search quickly for station, hospital, police, somebody, and let them know that a hiker fell and needs to be rescued.
Wow.
So luckily, that call went through, and he obviously got on the case and managed to get hold of somebody.
So at that time, your wife was just stuck in the woods alone at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the night.
Yeah, probably one.
Waiting for you.
To me.
Wow.
The second call I made, I got through to her and I told her, babe, I had a fall and I don't think I can move here until I get rescued. Make your way back up to the top where we came in. And I told her, actually, when you get to the top, that should be coming out from the crater this way. I said, turn left on that track where we were sitting down chatting on before we went in. Keep following it, because that's going to eventually lead you to me. But I didn't realize how difficult that trail was. She tried to reach, but she only got halfway, and then she couldn't go anymore because it's really, really difficult.
Wow. So what happens to her? Let's take it off of you at that time. I mean, were you in conversation on that phone with her?
Just to let her know what happened and to tell her what to do, because the battery level was dying.
Oh, wow.
So just to learn her quickly. I had a fall, I'm bleeding, but I don't think, obviously I'm not so serious that I'm in a coma or something. But start making your way up. Don't keep waiting for me where I left you there. Make your way up to the top and see if you can reach where I am, or close enough that my shouting you could hear and let people know where I am. So she tried to do that very well, bless her heart, but it was too rough for her. She also wears glasses and everything, so she's not really the best person to do arduous hikes by day, much less at night. But she was just keeping me company and wanted to be with me. But she tried to reach me and couldn't. Before I died, by the time I finished the second call, and what I found later, it was around 11 p.m. that the police.
So let's go back. Let's go back a little. So the call that you made is around 8, 9 o'clock.
No, around, the call was around 8:30.
8:30.
We took calls.
You made 2 calls around 8:30 and your phone battery went dead then.
Soon after.
What were you thinking after this? Because you in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, no help, it's dark. What were you thinking at that time?
Well, I knew that. I didn't think that I was going to die because once this bleeding stopped on the forehead, I felt like I don't have to worry about bleeding for death here. But I didn't know how unstable where I was actually because I don't have a light anymore at this point. And every time you try to move it further a little bit, you're hearing rocks tumbling and falling down. So I figured that it would be stupid for me to try to move from this tree because it's probably going to fall the rest of the way down. So I just said, let me keep my backside quiet and go onto this tree until the sun come up and let me see what my...
And then you said you fall about 30 feet down.
I didn't know how far at the time.
Okay.
But when the sun came up and I looked back and saw how far the wind was.
So now, this happened, your last call made at 8 p.m.
8:30.
Now, 8:30 p.m. So what happened overnight, 11, 12, 10? What were you doing at that time? Did you went to sleep?
I tried to, it was in a lot of pain. I really thought that I had broken ribs over here because it was hurting so much. But apparently it's just muscle bruises, because it's still written up and over, but nothing was broken or even fractured. So it was pain there. I knew that in my arms and legs there were no bones broken, but I didn't know about my knee because that was killing me and I couldn't even know this left leg. So I said, well, possibly I have broken bones in the ribs and my knee, something must be severely wrong with that.
So for that length of time, because now you're talking about in the morning, when you finally, there was light. So your first thing in the morning, did you sleep overnight?
You might nod off for a few minutes, but you can't really sleep because, as you know, if you sit on a hard surface before hours out, you can't take it anywhere you want to get up.
Yeah.
But I on a little piece of rock brace against this tree, so there's a bottom sore already, but you can't move. So you're just leaning forward and you're hoping, but I can only nod off a couple of minutes and then you wake up again and try to talk to yourself and keep your mind active.
The first daylight, tell us something about the first light as morning break and the first light you see. What were you thinking then? Like, officially now, the sun coming up or the moonlight is opening bright. What were you thinking at that point?
Well, when the sun came out in the morning, the first thing I wanted to do was to see how far did I fall. So I looked back and when I saw the distance, I was saying, well, it was a miracle I didn't break my neck, as if you fell onto rocks 30 feet. But the rocks at this angle that were loose, man. It wasn't like a solid boulder. As if I felt myself hit and roll, it caught me backwards in the dark. But I didn't realize how far the distance was. So that was the first thing that surprised me and had me feeling. It's a combination, I think, because I saw the seriousness of the wall. I could have broken my neck and been dead instantly. But also, when I watched, I remember the Looney Tunes cartoons as a child, and I see these cartoon figure falling like a rag doll and tumbling down. I said, why must you look like that when it happened to me? Right? So I also saw the humorous side of it, how ridiculous I must look cartwheeling down the mountain into this tree. So yeah.
So once you saw exactly where you was at the morning hours now, did you have to watch to tell what time it is, anything like that? No. So now, tell us the rescue part now, because morning have come, you have gone through another 12, you've gone through at least 12, 13 hours of overnighting, hanging on this tree. What happened? How did you get rescued?
Well, in the night, the first rescue team, I noticed come up. I found out later it was after 11. The station police rescue team tried to find me. I saw their lights come up at the entrance. But unfortunately, the place that I choose to fly out and make my way up was actually the highest part of the volcano and the furthest from the other side of the entrance. Hikers don't even bother to hike the back there because it's too difficult. So I saw the lights come up and I tried to shout, but every time you raise your voice, your ribs hurting. It's like, hey, you know when you get an accent, you're going to cough or sneeze, you're going to hurt. So, but they told me later they heard me shouting, but they couldn't pinpoint where from because my voice was echoing around in the crater.
And that was about 11 o'clock at
And
night.
that was from 11. And then the first party tried to find me, and they tried for about 4 hours and couldn't locate where I was. So they hunkered down for the night and wait for the sun to come up, and then they tried again. But then the National Park Rangers came up after sunrise, and they started looking for me. And because they are accustomed patrolling the trails and then guiding people, they found me. Two ladies from there found my location first. They actually got above me. They were trying to get my wife to come. And so then they knew my location and radioed to the other team that was down in the crater. This is the location to come up. We'll get the guy here. So thanks to them, Ellie and I think Gordy was her name. They found me around, 9:30, between 9 and 10.
9, so that's almost 14 hours lost up there.
And then 11 o'clock is when the guy Jethro, the other team member, he led a 5-person team, him and 4 others. And they cut a trap coming up the crater to get me.
So all that time you was still there,
there
hanging, but people is there comforting you or trying to...
Well, only since people reached me at 11, but it'll be probably after 9, between 9 and 10, I heard the ladies above, so I felt reassured that, okay, at least they know my location. Yes. Because somebody had sent up a drone early in the morning, maybe around 8, but the drone flew to the side and they didn't see me.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, geez, and ages, man. Again, some other potential rescue failed. So they started to get a little discouraged there. Like, how long am I going to be here another night? I can't take this another night because you're in pain, you can't sleep, so sleep deprivation. You didn't drink or eat anything since lunchtime the day before.
Wow.
So, things combine and it's starting to make you get frustrated.
So once they came up and they get hold of you, how did they get you from that location to a more safety zone?
Well, the original plan was to have people come with a bodyboard and ropes and lower it down from where I fell and take me back up. That was the shortest route, 30 feet back where I came down. But when they tried to make a move in that direction, they disturbed some bees. So I got about 6 bee stings there, and the others got a few stings too. And they said, no, we can't go this way. I would just tell the others we're gonna have to go down. That's the only option. We can't go up. So they braced me and helped me. So I had to try to get up and make some steps. Where I couldn't step, I would scoot on the seat of my pants. Like if it was leaves or whatever, or small rocks, so we could actually slide over. So we did that bit by bit, and we went down, winding our way down, maybe quarter the way from the bottom, then the French rescue team that was coming from the French side of the mountain. I think they're Acrobat X is the name. They came up with a bodyboard, and so I was able to then lay down and that get strapped on, and then eight people carried me down to the bottom of the crater where there was a doctor from the station hospital waiting, and then a whole bunch of other rescuers and water and everything.
Where was your wife in all of this?
She was with the police. They found her when they came up after 11. They found her near the entrance, at the top of the volcano.
So your wife stayed?
She stayed there trying to see if she could help find me.
This is a story. So your wife, while you're lost, she gets stuck on that road also waiting for you. And then when she didn't get you, I guess she probably called for help.
Well, she didn't have a number to call or anything. She also called my son. And he let her know that when the police are on the way, so just stay tight. But she said later, because I asked her, why didn't you go down the night when the police reached? She said, well, she didn't want to go and leave me because she couldn't sleep knowing I was still lost up there and all that. So she stayed with the police all night. And she didn't come down to the next day either. When I was, I think only one, after they found me and she knew that they were bringing me out, an hour before I reached the top to come down, she went down with the first set of responders. So she was still there in the same clothes that we went hiking with the day before, so waiting for me when they finally did come down.
So your son in Barbados now that you made that emergency call to, how did you get that message? Or did they call him and tell him that you were rescued?
He was in touch with them back and forth most of the night, and so they let him know when they did find me the next day. But they let him know, yes, the team was coming. I think somebody senior in the police force even was able to get through to me before my phone went totally dead and told me, yes, we were on the way, this whole thing, Mr. Corrie, everything was going to be alright. So I did hear from an authority figure too, So there was some high points in the night that gave you hope,
Once you get to the bottom of the crater now, or to the bottom of your rescue, give us some of your experience after you meeting the doctor, when you meet the doctor, and then I guess you should have had a crowd of people there the rescue team. What was your first initial thoughts?
Well, all the way from the time, well, when they started carrying me down to the last quarter of the way, from the side to the bottom, I was seeing how they were struggling on the uneven terrain. Although I'm just 180 pounds, still, that you try to fetch something at that weight in that kind of terrain, and after 20 feet, the arms tired already. So I was feeling bad for the guys and saying to myself, nobody should have to do this kind of work in this day and age. This is really, really hard on these folks. What they have to do for a living to rescue people. And then the other things I was noticing, and I tried to make some jokes and things to lighten the mood and make them laugh. Like I was telling them, you guys are the experts at pass the parcel now, because they would 8 carry me, and then another 8 they would hand over to another 8 so their arms could rest.
Wow.
They were taking
And how long it take you to get to the bottom of the rescue area?
I feel like
An hour.
and then we were there for maybe half hour, and then maybe another hour to 2 teams to take turns carrying it up all the way to the top. And then
You were driven down to the hospital? Oh.
no, man, because again, as if it couldn't get any worse. When you reach to the top, then and you figure that okay, it's over now. It's just down to the ambulance, and that's it. You can finally get some sleep or whatever. As soon as you reach the top, a whole swarm of bees come out of nowhere and attack everybody.
Wow.
And I was covered with a blanket and legs, so they assumed that I would be okay. And everybody, ran for their life, understandably, because the patient is covered and safe. So I was on the road, stretcher still, and they trying to get away from getting killed by all these bees. But because I had killed those 6 bees earlier, like slapping them on my head and thing where they were stinging me, remember bees release pheromones. So that's like to make the other bees say, oh, you killed one of us, we can get you now, and they're coming in on your scent.
Wow.
So they were coming under the blanket and stinging me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm strapped in. So after I counted 30 more bee stings, I said, no, if I stay here and the whole hive sting me, I'm gonna die from venom overload. So then I started to shout, somebody come on and tell me, and I remember when I was a kid, I was definitely allergic to these stings. When I was 11, the doctor told my mom, if he gets stung by one more bee, it could kill him, because one bee used to make my whole body swell up. So I figured, thank God I'm not showing anything or sign of that yet, but to make it more critical, like to emphasize that somebody needs to come and strap me, because I can't lose myself. I'm going to be killed.
And all of these bees is on.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
much that you hearing, all you hear is you couldn't hear nothing because of the stung with the whole hive around you.
And then the whole rescue team just left it there.
Well, everybody was getting stung too. I don't know how many thousands of bees this was, but they getting stung all over the place, and I in the middle getting stung, so it's every man getting stung.
Wow.
Right?
What a story here.
But yeah, so it was like in my mind I
Now,
said,
how did the bees finally get away for them to get you
why
back?
they bees get away, got away from them. Because the guy Jethro, he's also allergic to bees, but he realized that, oh shit, the patient is not safe, he's getting stung, although he's covered. So he ran back and got stung a couple more times and loosened the 3 straps that were holding me down. And with the adrenaline and that and the determination of, I didn't come this far to get killed by insects, So after all that I went through already, and with that I sprung to my feet, forget all about pain and injury and all that, and sprint down there.
I started running.
Yeah.
So you forgot about all the pain.
I mean, well, adrenaline is amazing. I went at least 200 feet down, and then there was another set of rescuers who were there waiting, probably to give you water and help with the rest of the way. And then 2 guys, I think from the same French team, came and braced me on either side, and there was a dark arm over each of the shoulders, and we made our way. And then I started to feel what we call in the tribe, ning is like a dizziness, because you are what by tribal nature. And I blacked out, obviously, because the next thing I remember was being lifted up and put on the back of a pickup, because it was still on the dirt road, so the ambulance wasn't there. And lady was telling me, Mr. Corrie, your wife is here, everything's going to be okay. And I found out later it was the governor of Stacia. She was there at that part of the camp trying to organize everything. I also found out later, much to my credit, she was to have made an important trip abroad that same day, but she told my wife, I can't be traveling when this kind of crisis is happening in my country. So she is a gem of a politician to really take the job seriously, and she's representing the people, and she's not going to let something like this be ignored, leave it to deputies to handle. She was there herself taking charge. So that pickup then took me to the ambulance, and then I was transferred into the ambulance, and from there to the station hospital. And there they did full body x-rays, because they were sure, and I was sure that they were going to be broken and fractured bones all over. But to everybody's amazement, not even one fracture anywhere in my body. And everybody, all the doctors, all the rescuers, everybody saying the same thing. Boy, you're very strong, or you're very lucky, or both. This is a miracle today, because you should have been dead from the height you fell from onto rocks. You should have been a dead man. So yeah. But another thing too that really moved me in this experience, and I will never forget, was I was really admiring all these strangers. You know, they're from different race to me. You know, people of all colors and backgrounds. And that shippiness didn't matter at all. Everybody was focused on the mission. We are here to help save a human life. We're all in this together, and we cooperate. You know, and that's the kind of world that I want to live in. It restored my faith in humanity to see all these different people, total strangers to each other. You know, race and all this foolishness that did not matter to any of them. Focus was we can save a human being. Yeah. So I admire that. I will never forget. And that's the most beautiful aspect of it.
So now that we have come to the end of this interview, would you like to say thanks to anybody that was involved in this whole operation? You can tell the folks now via the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Who would you like to say thanks to?
Well, it's so many people. First of all, my wife, my children, the station authority, the police, the fire service, the Stenapa park service, all the local volunteers, because there are local volunteers who also came out to try and help. One gentleman even was on the helicopter medevac to St. Martin with me because he was coming to volunteer and he got into a motorbike accident. So, I feel sorry that people trying to do a good deed and they still had misfortune. The governor, the hospital staff, the doctors, the nurses, everybody. There's so many people. I try to list them, I mention on my Facebook post, but yeah, all you people are heroes, and I will never forget what you did for me, and I don't think my family would forget what you did for me either. And people have to appreciate and respect the kind of service to humanity that you guys provide. This is no joke what you go through to help save the lives of total strangers. So be indebted to all of you for the rest of my life for sure.
So let us know how you're feeling now. How are you feeling now after this happened on what date?
That was Wednesday night last week.
Last week Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling physically now?
Well, as I said, when I realized that there was no broken bones from the station hospital x-rays, I was medevac by helicopter to St. Martin Hospital Thursday night, and they did CT scans, I think at least 2 times, all over my body, and there was no internal injuries or bleeding or nothing either. So by Friday morning, I made an effort to get out from the bed to go and bathe myself in the shower, because I don't like being dirty, and at that point I had not had a shower since Wednesday morning, you know what I mean? So I couldn't take it anymore. There's bees still dead in my hair, and dirt in my ears, and all kind of foolishness. Blood was still on my face. So we had a shower, and when the doctor came, I said, "Doc, you have the information there. You know for yourself there's nothing serious wrong with me. I feel that I'm wasting your time and mine by being in the hospital, and also my mind and thing is going to be a waste of money too if I stay there long, because it wasn't necessary." So they discharged me at 11:30 p.m. Friday, and I went home to my cousin at Williams' place there in St. John, and there to take care of myself until today, because my wife got stranded over there when the ferry service was cancelled because of passing famine. Right, so the ferry only resumed today, so she only got back to me today. So from Friday till this morning, I was taking care of myself at home there. It's only the pain to sleep, because if you barely move one way or the other, I'm getting up and off the bed, it's pain because of the ribs, and walking because of the left knee. But apart from that, I feel almost back to normal.
Well, Mr. Corrie, it was nice having this talk with you. I wish you all the best in your future, and I hope you'll be safe, and let's hope that this incident will never happen to anyone else again. I wish you and your wife all the safeness and good travels back to the island of Barbados.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to the Curtlyn Warner Show. See you next time.